time, but after the show, don't say.
And you're watching ZTV on the Higher Learning Network. Yeah, right.
Yes, and we are live here today to help you get that head right. We are Wednesday Within. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have with me today the phenomenal sister, our very own Dr. Mckinney-Hammond. That's right, honey. You earned that title. Let me interject that there because that's important. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Whatever time all over the world.
Thank you very much.
You are so much prettier in person. I mean, your pictures do you justice, but to see you live, you know what the pictures do, girl. You know what they do.
Yeah. By the time they finish airbrushing you and everything, but I'm trying to get real like you. You see,
girl, you already real. I'm loving it because you're at the right stage right now. Where for us control freaks, where you can control it. Once it gets to a certain length, and in the baby stages too, it's uncontrollable. So.
Yeah. I'm just now adjusting. I'm starting to like it. I definitely enjoy the carefreeness of it. Of course, I still have to wig down because I do soap operas in Ghana, and then you got to be the diva, Yes.
So now you said Ghana. You got to talk about Ghana, but first of all, before you begin that, let me tell you. I am a follower of yours. I didn't tell you that over the phone.
Oh, okay.
I have been following since you left because you are living the life that I want to live in the motherland.
It's amazing. That's all I can say.
I've been to South Africa. I've been to East Africa, but never West Africa. And that was decades ago.
This is what you need to do because I do tours. Okay. You need to gather up a bunch of folk from here and bring them over for an MMH tour because it'll be different from the other tours.
Oh, okay. I certainly look forward to that because that is some kind of special. I said this woman has unprecedented nerve to leave America where people are risking life and limb to get to, and you are leaving it, going to the motherland. This is something.
Well, it's a little safer about now for us chocolate colored folks.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So how did that trip come about? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I am part Ghanaian.
Oh,
yes. The Hammond in my name is Mr. George Hammond, my dad. Mr. McKinney is my American dad. So I'm blessed. I have two daddies. So Mr. Hammond passed away, and I think he had probably been plotting and planning for me to move to Ghana all his life. So he's situated in a way where I basically had to move to take care of all the things that he plopped in my lap on his way out. Okay. And I was trying to handle it, doing my Chicago thing and, going back and forth. And I got so worn out. I said, Lord, what do you want me to do with my life? What do you want me to do? And I distinctly and clearly heard him say, move to Ghana, and I'm not going to tell you anything else until you obey me.
Oh, really?
So 3 weeks later, everything was on a container going across the ocean. And my dogs and me were on the plane, and we have not looked back. We're going on 12 years, and I have not regretted it at all.
Has it been 12 years?
Time flies whether you're having fun or not, girl.
Wow. 12 years.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I told my husband, and this was even before I got married. I said, I hope nothing ever happens to you because he doesn't want to go anywhere.
Okay.
I hope nothing happens to you because I'm going home to the motherland to live the rest of my days. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know where. I just know I'm going. I feel it. I felt it the first time I went there. So if you're there, I got a connection to a tour. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for for
Yes,
listening to
yes,
the voice within that told you to do that. That
yes.
was
It
scary.
it was the right voice. Zelda, I don't even know how to say it, but all of my dreams have come true in Ghana. All the things that I was striving to do here are things that I got to do there with ease. I was working on getting a talk show before I left here, and had always wanted to act. That was actually my first aspiration. When I was a little girl and saw Barbara Streisand, I said, I'm going to be the chocolate colored her.
Oh my God.
And when I moved to Ghana, I was sitting in my bed one day and I said, Lord, what happened to all my TV dreams? And someone had prophesied to me I was going to be in a movie. And I was like, what's going to happen now that I'm in Ghana? And an hour later, someone approached me to rent my house to do a movie. In a week, all of the biggest actors in Africa were in my house being filmed. And they looked at me and said, we have this role. Can you play this part? And I was like, huh? 5 minutes on camera and my life changed. I've done movies and I'm in about 3 or 4 soap operas now. I can't even keep up
Wow.
anymore. And I never auditioned for a part. They literally write parts for me and call me and say, hey, this part is yours. Do you want to do it?
Are you serious?
I mean,
Who
who
does
does
that
it?
happen to? Nobody that I
Who
know
does
of.
it? I started a clothing line. I always loved fabric and stuff. And during COVID, I would go out driving around and just stop at little kiosks and pull fabric. And I ended up doing a line because 2 of my friends kept encouraging me and saying, we'll help you, just do it. So I did that. And my first runway show, I got nominated for Best Runway Collection that year. That was last year. So,
In Ghana?
and yes. And now I'm working
What?
on building a
In
resort over
America?
there
In Ghana?
in
When
Ghana.
like that? Oh my goodness. How did the Ghanaians feel about that? My
Oh, they're fine with it. I
friend.
mean, they know I'm part Ghanaian, but they're very welcoming.
Mhm.
If you've got a great idea and something you want to do, it's like the Wild Wild West. Anything goes. If you've got a dream, you've got the room to do it because you're not fighting certain folk. That's not to
Uh-huh.
say black people can't give you a problem every now and then too. You know how we
Right.
treat one another.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yes.
happens there, but there's a more of a welcoming atmosphere. The limits are off. Okay, that's the bottom line. The limits are off. If you want to do it, the only reason you didn't do it is that you didn't do it. Okay.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
That's food for thought because the
Yeah.
opportunity was there.
Yes, the opportunity is there. And it's just a wide open space. I mean, I'm getting ready. I partnered with a guy out of Florida. We're getting ready to do a huge destination resort in Ghana on 500 acres
Ooh.
of land. And it's going to
Ooh.
have something for everybody: golf course, culture village, amusement park, everything. I mean, so I'm really excited. The possibilities in Ghana are endless. If you're interested in real estate, it appreciates at 100%. And as you know, it's become Star Haven. Everybody and their
Yes.
mama was over there in December. Vanessa Williams, Chance the Rapper, everybody. And so it's now the new haven. When Beyonce's mom came, I took her shopping, and
Oh.
showed her some new designers and had a lot of fun with Miss Tina, Mama Tina.
Okay.
That was just totally delightful. So anything can happen there. That's the
Wow.
bottom line.
That is so encouraging because I'm so glad you are here for
Hmm.
many, many reasons. But one specifically is that when you are brought up with the Midwest mindset, it
Hmm.
keeps you trapped in a
Yes.
place that you don't want to be longer than you want to be there. And
Hmm.
for you to broaden your horizon like that and not be afraid and step out on faith. What was your biggest obstacle getting there? Or believing in yourself that you could do something different out of this country?
I don't know if I ever thought I couldn't.
Mm.
Here's the thing, and I know that a lot of African Americans sometimes have issues with African brothers and sisters and West Indian brothers and sisters and consider them arrogant. But what they have to understand is that they live in Black world. They live in a culture where anything is possible. No one tells them they can't do it because they're Black. So
Ah.
there's a different mindset. It's like, what do you mean I can't do, I can't have? What are you talking about? Okay. So when they come here and there have been limits put on the mindset, even if it's not physically occurring, there's a tension between the two cultures. But the cultures have to understand each other and why that's taking place. So for me, I was born in London. My mother is West Indian. She's from Barbados. My cousin is the prime minister of Barbados right now. So I went to school
Really?
in Barbados till I was 7 after I left London and then came to the States. So I was already indoctrinated in I can do whatever I want to do. What do
You're
you mean?
already international. There were no
Mhm.
limits.
Yeah. So for me, it was never a matter of I can't do this or I can't do that, you know. So um I didn't have any limits. If God told me to go, I was going and let him
Mm.
figure out the rest. Because if I'm obedient and he's given me a vision, he'll make the provision. Now, of
Mm.
course, all the times that I had been to Ghana before, and I went very regularly and visited my dad. I spent every Christmas there. If he was ill, I went, you know. So I was already used to, you know, I had friends, I had family, I had, you know, that whole thing set up already. But I had never had any responsibilities when I went to Ghana before because I was always on vacation. Right.
Ah.
So to have to learn how to live the day to day and deal with things was entertaining. I'm gonna say entertaining.
Okay. Okay.
um, Lots of different things from the culture here. Of course, I mean, you know, my dad left me at home, but I you know, rented it out because I didn't think I was staying. Um, and so rent, when you rent there, you pay the whole year up front.
Oh, really?
Nobody looking for you every month for their rent. That's not happening. You pay the whole year up front.
Now, what's the
Okay.
value of the US dollar there?
Right now it's 12 to 1. One US
Oh,
dollar is 12 CDs. So if you have $100, that's 1,200 CDs. It's been going up and down. I mean, they were flooded with foreign currency over Christmas, so it went down, but now it's starting to creep back up. So if you have dollars, that's good. If you don't have dollars, that's bad.
oh,
Okay.
one
So
dollar is 1,200.
it 100 would be 1,200. Yes.
Wow. So, what's the average rent there in
Depends on where you live.
okay.
I live in a house that has a swimming pool, 2-car garage, 4 bedrooms, and I'm paying less than my 2-bedroom condo mortgage in Chicago.
I believe that. I
Okay.
believe that.
So, you know, you can live very well in
Like
Ghana.
kings and queens that you are.
Yes, you can live very well and eat very well because one the other things I like the quality of life is I eat everything fresh. I don't eat any processed
Thank you.
anything there. I
That's
stop on
why
the
your skin
roadside,
is
get
so
my food.
beautiful.
Thank
That's why
you.
your skin is so beautiful. What you put in it, it shows up on your face. You know how we see
Exactly.
kids with a lot of acne? You know, all the
Yes.
fried chicken, the potato chips, yada yada, all the processed
Yes.
food. That's why your
All
skin is
that
so beautiful.
junk, you know, Ghanaians don't eat a lot of sugar and sweets and things like that, you know.
Mm.
They eat very healthy food. So I love the diet. I love the fact that people help you. You know, it was so
You have
funny.
a
I came
garden?
here and I went to Ulta to shop and get my makeup and stuff, and I was standing there, and the little young lady, she said, "It looks like you need basket." I said, "Yes, I do need a basket." So she went and got the basket. She came back and she was standing there, and I felt her being a little tense, you know. And I looked at her. She said, "Here you go," and she gave me the basket, and I was like, "Oh." I had to remember where I was because in Ghana, somebody would have stood there with that basket, followed me around the store, and taken it to my car, you know. So
Really?
I had to remember where I was, you know. And then for me, when I get out the airport and I see so many white people, I'm like, wow, where'd they all come from? Because I'm in black world. Every billboard is black people, you know. So there's certain places you go that you see foreigners and expats and things of different cultures. But for the most part, I am embedded in the culture and I see black people all the time. I see African people all the time.
Wow. What?
It's a different life, very, very
Yeah.
different. So
Yeah.
for me, the mental adjustment has to be made every time I come back to the States because it's a whole
Oh,
different
okay.
mindset.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos on like Black in Japan. There's a
Mhm,
brother, I can't remember his name. I haven't watched it in a while. He goes to all the different African countries
mhm.
and he shows how the way of living and things that you need to be aware of and slow down. Nobody's in a hurry. Everybody
Right.
speaks to everybody. And that's what I really love about it is just because I lived in the South as a kid for a little while and everybody spoke to everybody.
Mhm,
Here,
mhm.
Not so much. They look at you strange. But
Yeah.
anyway, getting back to the food, let's talk about. Do you have a garden?
I'm getting ready to do a garden. I am getting ready to do a garden. When I get back, we're setting it up now. Yeah, but there's certain things we grow. Like we grow lemongrass, and my cook does. She does a great tea with lemongrass, and we
Ooh.
grow tomatoes. So a few things, but we want to set it up. Yeah.
Okay, roll that back now, because you just threw a word in there that most people here say, "You my what?
Uh
My
huh.
housekeeper, my cook, my what?" Okay, so you got to tell us a little bit about that, because we don't have that luxury here.
That's true.
You-
That's
you-
true. I've been here for a month serving my parents. When I go home and tell my housekeeper, oh, yes, I had to cook. So I have to take pictures to show her that I actually know how to cook because I don't cook in Ghana, or I'll tell my driver, yeah, I drove to Michigan. He looks at me like I have 10 heads. Like, really? You can do that? Because if I dropped you off in the middle of town, you wouldn't find your way home.
wow.
So I'm spoiled. I can't wait to get back.
Do you drive there at all?
Rarely. I drive on Sundays to church, and my church is like 7 minutes from my house.
Okay.
That's it. So I'm like the little old lady who only drives on Sundays.
So what's it like for travel every day if you have to go out and about? Is there Uber there? I know
They
there are
have Uber
bicycles
there.
everywhere.
I inherited my driver from my father. He's been with my dad since he was 14 years old. And when I came, he said, I'm not leaving. So he's there. And
Oh, real sweet.
yes, he is. He's wonderful. So, but there's Uber there. There's Bolt there. What's the other one? There's another one. Oh, yeah, they're coming. And then they have taxis. They have trotros, which are small buses. And then people drive big fancy cars all over the place. A friend of mine was shocked at how many luxury cars he saw in Ghana. And of course, we have an eclectic mix of old and new. You see a village in one side, and you see beautiful high rises on the other. Fabulous housing, fabulous condos, townhouses. They love huge houses. So I mean, everything's
Mm,
got like huge rooms and
yeah.
compounds, where they've got their
Mhm.
yard, and
Yeah.
it's just lovely. I
It
just
is.
absolutely love. Black people are living well, y'all. Don't buy the oppression story.
The media here controls all of the images about
Mm-hmm.
the motherland, and they
Mm-hmm.
want us to think everybody there is dirt poor,
Mm-mm.
starving to death, full of
Mm-mm.
disease, unemployed, all of that. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. Everybody
Honey, I went to
does
this
not.
guy's house the other day before I left, and I was acting like a little schoolgirl. He had like this huge compound, and when you came in, it had this long driveway, and he had this fabulous garage that was lit. It had lighting in the ceiling, right? And he had all of the any kind of fancy car you could think of. He had it. He had the Ferrari. I mean, literally, there were like 12 of them lined up: the Bentley, the Ferrari, the Porsche. I mean, he just collects. He just collects these
Wow.
cars. And he had a
Wow.
whole separate building for meetings and parties away from his house. I was like, excuse me.
Okay. Wow.
So, they have some neighborhoods that'll make you say Bel Air, who? Beverly
Yeah.
Hills, who?
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen them. I've seen them. And I was like, wow, I cannot believe I have been lied to all my life. We've
Mm-hmm.
all been deceived.
Yes.
We've got some comments here. Let's see. I don't know who this is, but I know who this is. And comments. Let me go back here. Here we go. Deborah Anderson. Oh, a former colleague of mine. We
Mhm.
used to work. Was it at WJPC or
Oh, okay.
WGCI? I
Why
don't
does the
remember.
name sound
That's
familiar
where I
to
know
me?
Effie from. Effie and
Mm-hmm.
I worked at WGCI, Gospel Radio 1390,
Yeah.
for years together. And Deborah Anderson was. Deborah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was WJPC. I don't remember. It's been that long. She also says, hello, Zelda. I own a travel agency. She's the first one who took me out the country to the Bahamas.
Okay.
And now have a trip planned to Ghana for Ghana in July 2023. You should join us. Call me. Okay. Send me your number, Deborah. But speaking of that, your trip to Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
um, in when does that happen?
It happens when people pull a group together because it's
Okay.
not something that I do consistently.
Okay.
Although next February, I'm planning a very special trip for women only. It's a
Oh.
diva immersion
Oh.
experience in Ghana, and it is going to be amazing. You're gonna do your tour thing. We're gonna do some shopping. We're gonna do some good eating, and then we're gonna unpack a lot of stuff and get spiritually free while we're at it.
All
So
right.
it's going to be really, really amazing. I got some very special things planned because when I do my tour, I have a naming ceremony, so everybody gets their Ghana name, and we dress you up, and you do Queen for a day shoot, and I go all out
Oh, I
on my
love
tour, so you
it.
get a couple extras from the regular tour because because I'm
And,
extra, you know that.
and I'm so glad you're extra because I don't like doing tours. I like going to where the people,
Yes.
the original people who live there,
Mm-hmm.
not the tourist thing. Show me all the pretty, pretty. No, I want to go. I want to eat with my hands. I want to
Right.
eat some fufu.
Yes.
I want to be
Yeah.
with people of the culture.
Yeah. Because depending on the number of people, I mean, I've even had people at my house for a cooking day. Some people want to learn how to cook the meals, and so they had a day in the kitchen with my cook, and she showed them how to. So I do little extra things like that. I kind of tailor it
Oh,
for who's coming. So yeah.
oh, I certainly look forward to that. That is
Hmm.
phenomenal. But when I first learned that Stevie Wonder and many others said that
Hmm.
he did not want his grandchildren to grow up in America and be shot or threatened with being shot, killed, or maimed or locked up every single day. I said,
Hmm.
he's going to wake some folks up.
Yep.
And I am so glad to see that people are waking up and they are not believing everything that they see on NBC, ABC,
Right.
Fox News, because that is part of mind control.
Hmm.
And there is, I can't remember it offhand, but it'll come to me shortly. I'll look it up about how the media, how television, tell my vision for you
Yes.
was designed. What was it? Operation something or another. But I'll find it. But it is all programmed
Yes.
to keep you in a certain state of mind. And for those who break out, they block you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting because when people come, they are really surprised,
They're
at
shocked.
what they find there in, fashion, food, art, you name it. It's just over the top, just
I
I
hate
just love it. And I've been living there for almost 12 years and I still take pictures. So what does that tell you? There's
wow.
always something that just is
Wow.
an eye feast. And the people are just warm and sweet and very welcoming. As you know, we've had a lot of traffic. Chance the Rapper just did a whole music festival over there, and I think
Ooh,
50,000 people were in attendance. And
wow.
it's become party capital, especially around December. There's music festivals and things going on. So
Oh.
always a lot to do, always a lot to see.
You know what I love, and I know this is so selfish, but I'm going to say it anyway. What I loved most about the very first time I went to South Africa, I think it was, we were eating,
Mhm.
and my very thin girlfriend was with me. She's about 5'2", maybe 100 pounds, and I was probably 100 pounds heavier than I am now.
Mhm.
And the women looked at me in the room and they said, "What's wrong with your girlfriend? Is she sick?"
Mm.
And I said to myself, sick? No, she's not sick. This pre-COVID girl, 30 years ago. And I said, no, why would you say that? And the mother of the group said to me, because she's so thin, give her
Mhm.
some food so she'll eat. And a conversation went around that about how men there love
Yeah,
full-size women. I said, well,
they
I'm in
do.
the wrong country. I came home. I wanted to sit, but I was, 30 years old. And, I needed a way to support myself, but I wanted to come home and sell everything I had and go back to the motherland. Didn't turn
Yep.
out that way, but it's
Yeah.
not too late yet. The men love, love, love. I cannot put enough emphasis on the word love,
Mhm.
the larger size woman. Have
Yeah.
you had that experience as well?
It's very varied now, but yes, they still like a good hefty sister.
Yes.
Let's just say that the hefty sisters are not lacking for attention.
Okay. So how are relationships in that area? Because there's so many women in the world, and
Mm-hmm.
there's so not so many men in the world, but in another country, on another continent, it may be different. So share
Mm-hmm.
that with us, if you would, please.
Well, some is a lot is very similar. But I will say that Africans take marriage very seriously. Something's
Mm.
wrong with you if you're not married. And why aren't
Oh,
you having babies? So, unfortunately for me, it breeds the other thing happening. A lot of people getting married for the wrong reasons because, you know, you need to get married.
right.
Churches push it, culture pushes it.
Yeah.
It's just a part of life. You're not serious if you are not married. So, from that viewpoint, and I know that there's this myth about women being oppressed in Africa. African women are extremely strong.
Yes,
And
they
also,
are.
you have to know that depending on the culture or the tribe, it might be a maternalistic society as opposed to a paternalistic society.
Oh,
In some of the tribes, inheritances go to the woman because they say mama's baby, daddy's maybe. So
really?
they, yes. So there are lots of different, things that you need to know in dealing with who you're dealing with. It's not the stereotypical women are walked on and man is superior. Yes, the men have egos. They're very strong. Um,
Yes.
but they're told to be strong. They're told to, take care of their families. So, sometimes they might not be emotionally where you'd like them to be, but they feel the obligation to take care of family or they're not a man. You're not doing things the way you should be doing things. So, I like that aspect of it, that they take care of business. Now, then different cultures, the men are different. I think the Ghanaian men are much more laid back, polite. They're more of the British influence. Then you got the Nigerian guys, and they got swag, but honey, they dangerous.
Stranger danger. Stranger
Okay,
danger.
there's a reason you got all that swag because you practicing a lot.
Okay, and got a lot of
Uh,
women to practice on too. I pulled up
mhm.
your site, Michelle,
Oh,
and
yes.
it's right there on MichelleHammond.com about Michelle. Look at that beautiful picture, girl. You look like wow, heaven. That's the only thing that comes to mind.
Oh,
That's
my
all I
friend,
can
the,
say.
the late Ernest Collins took that picture, and I just miss him so much.
Your website tells a lot because when I got to these questions, I was like, oh my goodness. One of the first one I see on your FAQ is why isn't Michelle married?
Of
How can
course,
she think about marriage
because
when she's never been married? So there's lots of other questions. So you all got to go to the
right.
website. But tell us how you respond to that, Michelle.
Well, it doesn't bother me. I think that it's a fair question to ask, and my answer always is I know what God says about marriage. My opinion means nothing. So
Mm,
I always come from a spiritual principle place when I'm teaching and talking with others, because my mother told me as a child, opinions are like behinds. Everyone has one, some more attractive than others. So so for me, the highest standard of living is what God has to say. And so I always come at relationships from that angle. And I have successfully guided many to marriage, to reconciliation of broken relationships, and heart repair if that's what's needed.
mm,
So that's
heart
the place I
repair.
come from. So that's how I get to talk about it without being married. Also, I have to tell you, I'm an observer and I have a lot of friends who are successfully married and happy. I know a lot of people don't get to say that.
Mm.
But I interview, I ask questions. How do you have this great marriage? And then my parents have been married for 59 years. So I've got to watch how to do marriage for 59 years, you understand. Um, so when it comes to that, where we get educated has a lot to do with what we're able to offer to others.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Mhm.
And people think that this is the difference in knowing the gift that you were born with, and you don't have to have a doctorate's degree or a master's
Sure.
degree in that. When the creator gives you a gift, that
Hmm.
is your gift. You
Yeah.
don't need outside validation to say that I have a PhD or I have a master's. So there's nothing wrong with your PhD or master's. That's good if that's what you
Right.
want. But you don't need it. You
Right.
got a gift that came from the creator. Why do you need a
It's
piece of paper to validate that?
it's true. Now, I also do study a lot because I
Mhm.
believe in perfecting the gift that
Yes,
God
ma'am.
gave you. And so I do study a lot. And it's interesting because I'm releasing a book in February called How to Make Love Work. I do a love master class once a year, and it'll start in March. So people can go to the website if they're interested in that. It's an intensive, very hands-on. We do master classes together, and I've just had some great results. I've got 2 people getting married out of that class now,
Wow.
and some other folks just got to a place called happy and realized they had some work to do, and we're happy to do it. So, but I was editing that book to relaunch it, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is good." Well, how did I know that? I mean, I had to go look it up and research to see if I was telling the truth.
Oh,
I said,
wow.
wow, this is amazing because the Holy Spirit will download some stuff to you now.
Yes,
You know,
ma'am.
so
All you
so
have to
I
do.
think there's a great marriage there of spiritual understanding that you get gifted from, as well as doing the research, doing your work, so that you're not, selling people empty promises, but you're really giving them tools that they can use in their relationships. And I'm very passionate about that because I love it when people are happy. And I like contributing to that happiness. So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
like to get you whole and living the life and loving the love that you want.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. One of the things that touched me about your ability to move between continents is that I don't know if you, I don't think you had fear. I think most people are very fearful about leaving a country that they were born in. And who says you have to leave it? There's dual citizenship
Yeah.
available now.
Yeah. I come back and forth all the time anyway. So
I see that. I see that. It's like, oh my goodness, she's living my dream. When am
mhm.
I gonna get in contact with her? And then Effie calls me this morning. Shout out to Effie Rolfe, my girl from Urban Praise.
Yes.
We work together at Gospel Radio 1390. She hooked us up, and I am so very grateful. Effie knows everybody and everything.
I'm
So
telling you. And she's just a wonderful,
it's
beautiful
such a
person.
sweetheart.
And so she's
Her
got
head
me
could
doing
be this big,
inspiration. I'm telling you, and she's
and it's
just as
not.
humble. She's
And
got
it's
me doing
not.
inspirations. They're going to start on her channel, Urban Praise
I
Network.
saw that.
And they're going to be Monday through Friday, 2 minutes of
Yeah.
inspiration called Life Talk starting in March. And
Okay.
they're going to be on Omni FM on Sunday mornings with Dana Divine. So, and she hooked that up too. I was like, Effie, oh my God.
Yes, ma'am. That's what she does. She
That's what she
connects.
does.
She connects. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we both have her in common because she is such a wealth of information and she doesn't mind sharing. You know how some people get
Right.
hold of information. Oh, I can't tell you that. That's just for me.
Mhm.
No,
But
she
see, I'm
sharing.
that way. I'm that way too. I don't understand people who don't help people. For me, if you help someone and they're successful, their success is your success. You can't do everything,
Ah,
you know.
yes, sir.
So, that's a way that you can be a part of success in other avenues by sharing. I mean, I'm a great networker that way too. I don't think I'm good at networking, but for some reason, I know who to hook up with who to get stuff done. I love blowing on other people's dreams and seeing them blow up. And I
Oh,
think that's a gift that we're given, that
yes.
we can connect people and watch them become successful too. When you can rejoice for others, you will end up rejoicing for yourself because God's going to bless you as you bless other people
All the time.
all the time.
Just as Effie blessed us, Deborah Anderson, I can't put the comment up because it has her phone number in. She
Okay.
says, I did the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Come to the Promised Land promotion with me as a guest speaker back in the days at
Hmm.
the Bahamas. So, yeah, Deborah Anderson, I will definitely be getting in touch with you, my sister. Thank
That's
you for
wonderful.
joining us. Yeah. Another sister who just shares. That's what we do as a community of people. We share. And we've
Hmm.
gotten into the mindset, you hear about all the crime in Chicago, but they don't talk about the good things that are happening in Chicago.
That's true.
There is more good that's happening than bad, but they don't
Yes,
want you to know that because they want you to remain in fear. And as long as you
exactly.
are in fear, they can control you.
Hmm. Hmm.
But Not anymore, because we are turning the TV off. We're turning the radio off. Not this channel, not now. And we're turning our cell phones off to do what we call Wednesday Within. And that is the way we start our day, by simply taking long, deep breaths. Just getting quiet anywhere you can, preferably outside in some nature. That's one thing I love about it. It's just always hot there. Not always hot, but just to be, even if you can't get in some nature somewhere, put your feet in some dirt. Have some dirt in the bag at the front door, just so that you can get grounded, so you don't bring all that drama from the outside into your dwelling, your place of peace. What do you do for, or in your quiet time, I should say?
Well, I always have music in my head. I'm always writing songs. I have a music ministry over there too. We're gonna come over here. Yeah.
You probably sing too.
Relevance. Yeah.
What's it called?
Called Relevance. We're actually going to be doing an Easter concert on Omni FM's theater for Easter. So we'll have to invite you to that, because we're going to do a special event where we air it live and then air it on stream. But we just did one for Christmas, a short one, but we're going to be doing an Easter, and it's all original music. But for me, my happy place and the way I quiet myself is to just stop and let something roll over in my spirit. It is, that always gets me refocused and recentered. That's where I find my peace is in the worship, in the praise, and the just, being grateful. Gratitude is huge, I think, for recentering you and getting you back to a place of peace. Because so many times we tend to focus on what's not going on and what we don't have. When we stop and take stock of what we do have and what is going on, it opens us up for the options that still await us. I think that if we get hemmed in by the don'ts and the won'ts, that we don't see the way past that. It becomes an interpersonal trap, in a sense, So when we say, wow, I didn't have any money, but I got this done. I got that. Somebody blessed me with this. Then the possibilities open up that, wow, God is a provider. I lack for nothing. Why am I thinking about what I don't have? Whenever I need it, it comes. So that expands your spirit. It expands your expectations. And when we rest in that place of trusting him that way, peace comes, and then joy follows it. A lot of people spend time pursuing happiness, which is external. It's based on external factors. I mean, even Facebook and the other folks got us on that. They devised this thing for us to feel dopamine every time somebody likes us.
Say that, girl.
Depressed when they don't.
Say that.
But you know what? Like Cheryl Lee Ralph said, you don't have to like me. You don't have to love me. You don't have to respect me. But when you look in the mirror, you better like what you see.
Okay.
It's the truth.
Yes.
It is the truth. You've got to be at peace with you, peace with your God. And if you got those two things going on, all the rest falls into place. I'm not dependent on the approval of man at all. I don't care if they subscribe. I mean, we like them to subscribe because we want them to get the goods of what we have to offer. But is my sense of self put there? No. I know what's in me. I know what's been deposited in me. I know who I am. I know who I am in him. And because of that, I have peace and joy. Before I forget, Deborah, you need to contact me so I can give you some little secret things to do on your tour, okay? Because, sometimes the stuff that you all should take part of is just not as obvious. But there are a lot of new things going on. And so I'll hip you to those so you can plan them in your tour, okay, sis?
And where would she and she can contact you at your website, MichelleHammond.com?
Yeah. Well, but that's the peaceful place right there. That's the place of peace. It's getting back to,
And that's West Africa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one I haven't been to. And I have friends in Nigeria, and they're always telling me, well, yeah, that's nice. You've been to East Africa and South Africa.
It's not real Africa.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said.
It's faux Africa.
It's what? It's what?
I call it faux Africa. Pretend
Africa. Wow. That's what they all say. You have not been to the motherland.
Yeah, you haven't been to Africa yet.
West Africa.
No.
And I just have some West African friends that I just adore because they tell me things because they have such a sense of community. Even
Yes.
here in the United States, when a relative gets ill or someone dies in the family, they take up a
Everybody.
collection. They go, we're doing fund me pages for funerals and for
Mm-hmm.
medical bills. They have taken the family structure and kept it. They
Oh
haven't
yes.
lost it.
Yeah, you can't just get married. No, 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 no. You got to get through the whole family before you get married.
Wow.
They're gonna interview you, grill you, and see if you qualify before you go marching down anybody's aisle. Oh yes.
Really?
Oh yes. And I
So,
like that because it holds that person accountable to taking care of you. You see, that's what it's
to
about.
know that you have got that. You do me wrong, you got to answer to my
You got
whole
to answer
thing.
to the whole tribe. And so, and getting in and getting out is the same. You can't just jump up and say, I want a divorce. Oh, no, no, no. Family meeting. What is happening here? Okay, let us talk about it. Can't you fix this? You must fix this and you must fast and pray. Oh, oh. God hates divorce. Let's talk about it.
I love the accent. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I love it. I love the fact that some people are gifted audibly. Like my speech instructor told me at Columbia College, and I have a tendency, I didn't pick this one up yet, but to pick up your accent, and you've picked it up very well. Well, you've been there 12 years. What do
Yeah,
you?
and I'm in it all the time. I'm not around. I'm not around Americans a lot at all when I'm there.
Oh,
So
oh,
for me, I am embedded in culture. Period. So yeah, and sometimes you have to switch it up just a little because if you're too American, they don't understand what you're saying. What? What?
oh,
What?
yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah. More comments. Dr. Marshall Noble on board. Marshall, did you have a question? She had a comment, but you want to type your comment in there? Feel free. We've only got her for 3 more minutes because she has an appointment. She has to go. But I want to thank you, Michelle. You are
you're welcome. Let's
light.
do this again anytime.
No, you tell me whenever you are in Chicago, you call me, girl. You got my number. We can chat. And you
Well,
don't even have
child,
to be in Chicago.
internet works in Ghana too,
Yes,
so you don't
ma'am.
have to
Yes,
wait till
ma'am.
the end.
Yeah, we can do some bi-coastal or
Yeah.
bi-continent. Yeah. You let me know when, and then we
Okay.
can work this out.
All righty.
So if you all got 2 minutes, you got any questions? You got 2 minutes because it's 2:13 and she has to leave at 2:15. And I see people typing things. There we go. All right. It says here, Deborah Anderson says, okay, I will. Great.
Okay, great.
I have a DMC that I work with too. I don't know what that is. Would love to
Okay.
get more details from you. Okay, good. All
Of
right.
course, Africa is welcoming to Black Americans. They want you to know your culture. They want you to know your roots. When you
Yes.
come to Ghana, you go to the slave dungeons. You get to see where it all began, and it's not a depressing journey. Once again, it's how you look at it. Yes, it
Mm,
was horrible the things that happened, but they created a super race out of that because you survived. Many
mm,
did not. So
mm,
those who are here, and that's why Black people in this country excel in everything because of the survival. When they make the Arabian stallions, what they do is they run them back and forth across the desert, let all the weak ones die off, make the strong ones do it again, till they make a super race of horse. Black Americans are a super race because of all that they've endured and all that they've
mm.
survived. That's why you're as brilliant and amazing as you are. And so when you come and you go, wow, my relative survived this.
Yes.
Okay, it's not about, oh, how horrible and white people are terrible. No, forget about that. Look at what your people did in the midst of that they went through that door of return and you have returned.
Right.
And that is a testimony of the strength of your ancestors.
Look what you have done. Look what you have come through. And you have no right to doubt yourself.
No.
You come from such greatness. How can you
Yes.
do that? You don't know
Yes.
who you are. That's why you need to go back to Ghana.
Exactly. When we were kings, we still are
You
kings
just,
and queens.
you just forgot about it.
You just forgot.
Oh wow. Deborah says, that's for sure. And
Yes.
and she always says, love this, love this, love this. Yes, Deborah, I will give her your number so that you all can take it. She says, please give her my number. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. It is 2:15 and I'm very well aware of your time. Thank you so very much
Thank
for
you, Zelda. Thank you for having me on. It's been a delight. And I've saved your number, so I'll call and bug you.
Yes, please call me and bug me. And while you're at it, everybody, please go to her website and forward this page, MichelleHammond.com. You'll be glad you did. Thank you so much. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, stay healthy, and I'll see you in Ghana.
All right, love.
Thank
Take
you
care.
so much. All right,
Thank
hug. You
you.
have a great
Bye-bye.
day. Bye-bye now. And thank you for listening and for watching. You can always get our updates on the blog, hlntv.blogspot.com. And right about now, it is time for our breathing message of the day, because that's what Wednesday Within is all about. Going within, taking the time to do the thing that's necessary that will help you stay centered. And all I tell people to do all the time is simply breathe in through the nose, hold it for 5 seconds, and then blow it out your mouth to release that tension. Whoa, yeah, let it go. Inhale deeply 3 times. Inhale deeply. Hold it for 5 seconds and blow it out. Wow, release that tension. Once more. Inhale deeply. Hold it for 5 seconds and exhale, blow it out. Oh, did you feel that? Felt good, didn't it? And see, that's what you owe yourself every single day. The first 5 minutes, I take the first hour because I'm retired. I can do that. But the first 5 minutes of the day belongs to you, not to your cell phone, not to your email, not to anybody. If you got to go in the bathroom and close the door and turn the water on and play like you're getting ready to take a bath, then that's what you need to do, because the first 5 minutes is crucial. And if you're up between the power hours in the morning, between 3 a.m. and 4:30 a.m., I promise you, for those who are listening who know this truth, there is a magic that happens in the air. The Creator can speak to you because it's quiet. There's no people, there's no phone, there's no fax, there's no TV, there's no radio, and you download all the information. That's why I do it every morning. Then I get my pen and paper, and I'm writing just a gratitude journal. Top, they say 5, I write 10 because I'm extra like that. Write the top 5 or 10 things that you're grateful for. And if you want to make the first 5 things what you're grateful for, make the next 5 things what you expect to happen. Like, I expect the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest to become the go-to place for our children who are between the ages of 13 and 19. And they can do what you see at the bottom. Support the Teen Talent Contest for cash prizes and scholarships for winners. And you can be a part of that by donating anything. You can donate cash, you can donate prizes, and the Zelle and Cash App and PayPal information is scrolling there. And the homeless, we have a homeless project because it is imperative that we remain the village. They've tried to wipe out the village by keeping us divided, by keeping us gnawing at each other. And she's this and he's that. And why she got that tight skirt with great big eyelashes? And, just all that nonsense to keep us divided. And we don't have to be divided. We have the power to turn it off, to tune out, and to tune in to Wednesday Within. And we've got a couple of comments here. Let me see what that says. Dr. Marsha Noble say, I do this throughout the day. Yes, ma'am. It's not just in the morning, at night, but in the morning. Prayer, honey, that's all prayer is you're communing with the Creator. What your Creator, whatever it is you decide to call he, she, it, Allah, Buddha, Yahweh, universe, whatever. As long as you are connected to it, and you are divinely guided and protected for it to send you in the direction to do the work that you were put here to do. Because the fact that you woke up this morning, you could breathe, that breathing exercise we just did. Do you know how many people can't breathe through their nose? Do you know how many people have a trachea in their throat who have sinus congestion or phlegm or mucus? It's because they might contribute to the possibilities of why they can't breathe. And you see me I'm trying to suck up some. Okay. Anyway, it's important that we do that because we got to get this mucus out of our bodies. And I use a variety of things, but one of the most important things I use is sea moss. And if you didn't see the show yesterday on sea moss on the Female Solution, which airs Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, Saturdays 12 noon until 2, and Sundays 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. There was a couple of NFL players, and I interviewed one of them, and I'm going to have them both back on the show now that they have the product. These former NFL players are no longer NFL slaves. That's what they're referred to in the media. That's not me. And they've come up with a product, sea moss. I use it every day. So I'm going to have them on the show. So you be sure and tune in because I promise you, you will have an experience. And I'm also working on this. Do you worry? Many of us do. And it's not necessary because what you worry about usually happens. It's usually something negative. So you want to get to a place in your life where you just think about things. And it's a whole strategy that I've developed, and I'm working on that now on the Teachable platform. And as soon as it's ready, I will share that information with you. And if you would like to be a part of the worry-free workshop, you can just email me and text me. Right, you can text stress relief to 219-699-2114, and we will send you that information. I want to thank you. Oh, I've got another comment here from Dr. Marsha Noble. Says you can draw into your sphere what you speak. That's why we speak good over in our lives. Say that, my sister. This little dynamite woman, I had the pleasure of accompanying her to both of our alumni at Columbia College. We're both alumni there. And she went to speak to, what kind of class was that? A PR marketing class, I think it was. Marsha has been doing Jazz and You radio for over, is it 20 or 30 years? It's been a very long time. And these students were so excited. It's on my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com. You'll see it there. And these students were so enthralled with her. And I was like, wow, I want to be just like her when I grow up. And I'm thinking to myself, Zelda, you do that. You know that, right? Okay. Anyway, but I filmed it, so it's there. So thank you, Dr. Marsha Noble, for being a woman of faith and a woman who is not afraid to speak her mind and a woman who is a sister to another sister and who loves sharing the knowledge and expertise that she has. So thank you. And thank you who are watching on our platforms on Facebook and YouTube, Higher Learning TV show. And I want to thank you for being here, for sharing this video, because sharing is caring. And it's Wednesday Within. And because someone may miss the show, of course, I'll air it again. And it's on our channel, so you can go right there and watch it. Until next time, be the very best you can be for yourself, not for someone else. Because relationships are a challenge. And for the sisters who think they want to be married, I am loving being married, but you need to know you are perfect, whole, and complete just as you are. The only reason that you're not married, not the only reason, but one of the many reasons, is that this is your time for you. You have got to get to a point in your life, not to say that you're not there now, but a point in your life where you don't accept anything less than what you want. We have been trained as women to accept the unacceptable. We are not second-class citizens. We bring life into the world. We share the village concept. We do whatever it is that we need to do to make life better for ourselves and for others. So just know that this, I love what Michelle Mckinney-Hammond talks about on her page at michellehammond.com, is that, what's the name of the book? Single and Satisfied or something like that. When you get to the point of where you are happy being single, that's when your Mr. Right or Mrs. Right shows up. They show up when you least expect it. How do I know this? I'm at the store at Treasure Island before they went out of business. Going down the aisle, you know how you just happen to look back, and I noticed there's this man at the other aisle staring at me. Okay, so I moved to the next aisle. Like, I'm shopping for something. Get to the next aisle, same man, a little short, Humpty Dumpty guy. I said, okay, I'm in a good mood. I didn't care because, I'm in the store. I didn't think anybody was going to do anything to me. I get to the next aisle, and there he is, and he walks up to me, and he says, "Where are you from, my sister?" And I was like, okay, I know automatically that I know that West African accent. So we began to talk. And he asked me if I was in love. And I said, yeah. And he said, well, who? And I said, myself. And he looked at me like, and I said, if you care to explain it, no, he said, if you care to explain that. I said, well, honey, it's going to take more than a aisle conversation at the grocery store. He says, well, why don't I invite you out to lunch? This is not my husband, Tony. This is 30 years before I met my husband. And we went out to lunch. I discovered that he was a shipping magnate. And men with lots of money always want to control you. So he was trying to woo me. I had problems with my tires. He bought me four new tires. I didn't ask for it. He just donated it. But during that whole experience, what I discovered was, and I explained that to him, is that I had fallen in love with myself. And that's not being conceited. That is being wholeheartedly selfish. I was selfish because I had been in a relationship for 8 years and where the man dominated me. And let me share something with you. I was raised by men. So I have a lot of masculine energy. My two cousins, I had 4 brothers and 3 cousins, all men, and they all wrestled. So, I put you in a headlock in a minute. And so I was a little tomboyish, and I'm still tomboy. And I know I'm heavy-handed because my husband, Tony, tells me I'm heavy-handed all the time. But the fact that I was so in love with me, I said, I am out of this bad relationship. I am now in a relationship with myself, getting up in the morning, doing my morning meditation, going for my walk, doing my exercises, doing everything I need to do to take care of me. I had fallen in love with me. And that's the number one thing I tell single women. If you want a relationship, a husband particularly, fall in love with yourself first, and they will show up when you least expect it. And you can't put a time on this. This is not what this is about. You're trying to do things in your own time. That's not how it works, honey. I'm a living witness. We got other comments here. Let me see what they say. Marcia says, PR for 30 years. I thought it was 30 years. I wasn't sure, so I said 20, 30 years. Okay, but yeah, you're right. And Marcia says, thank you. You are my blessing. We are each other's blessings, my sister. And she also says, as a single woman of God, I enjoy my life tremendously. Yes, I know this, girl. I'm with you half the time. Well, not half the time, but sometimes. And have no plans to ever get married. Oh, really? I serve God's people, and I'm married to my servitude. All right, now, say that, because men are married to their careers, are they not? Lots of women are married to their careers. Okay, so we're just evening the playing field. So I want to thank you for being a part of my day. It has been such an experience. I want to thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for liking and subscribing while you're here and sharing this video with someone, because somebody needs to hear this. I don't know who it is, but they need to know that life does not evolve around a man or a woman. Life does not evolve around another person. Life evolves around you loving, living, and enjoying yourself. That's one of our t-shirts. I don't have it with me. higher living, higher loving, higher learning. And when you learn how to not worry, Lord have mercy, your life is going to take a whole new twist. Let me show you this before I go, and I'm going to get out of here. Worry Free Friday. That's what's coming up. We've got a seminar, and we're trying to keep it affordable. And if you can share that with someone, that would be great, because our parents worried themselves to death. And that's not something that we want to do, because now that we know better, we can what? We can do better. One more comment and let me get out of here. Marcia says, I love me too, Zelda. It's a blessed freedom. Yes, it is. There's nothing like it. You can't put a price on it. You can't get this at the store. Okay? We need to teach the session of self-love and self-acceptance. Big ears, big forehead, big hips, big thighs, big lips, big everything. And we trying to hide it. And we don't have to. You know why? Because they're paying to get these big lips. They're paying to get this big butt. So what does that tell you? You've been a blessing all the time. You just didn't know it. Sometimes you just need to be reminded. And I want to remind you to be the very best you can by taking care of yourself and being the very best that you can. And until next time, just remember this. Are you stressed out? Are you ready to learn some quick techniques on how to de-stress immediately? Then book your free 30-minute consultation with ZeldaSpeaks, the Mindfulness Stress Relief Coach, at higherlearningnetwork.org. Thanks for sharing.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
Grand Rising, and thank you so much for joining me. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks, the stressologist. Any stress in your life? Well, most of us do. Unfortunately, we don't know what to do with that stress, especially as it relates to worry. I was once a worried about everything, and I finally figured it out with some training. Yeah, I've been certified with the American Society of Training and Development, National Speakers Association, and a host of others. But none of those organizations helped me stop worrying. They just gave me validation for the public to see what credentials I have. So the credentials I have now are from life experience, and I've learned how not to worry. And you can learn how not to worry too, because it is indoctrinated in us to worry. We don't have the answers, so we think the worst is going to happen. Well, I got a solution to that. And that is the Worry Workshop. So I'm going to pull that up for you on my blog. Why do you worry when you don't have to? Go to my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.wordpress.com, and you can sign up right there and find out how you. And remember, sharing is caring. If you care about yourself and your loved ones, help them see their way out of a mess. Give them the gift. It makes a great birthday gift. It makes a great holiday gift. So instead of running to the store getting something that they really might not need, give them a worry-free life. Give them the gift of a worry-free existence. And thanks for sharing. Make it a great day.